The moon hung low in the sky, casting a pale, haunting light upon the dense forest. Freya and Lachlan, two adventurous friends, found themselves deep within the labyrinth of towering trees. Their hiking trip had taken an unexpected turn, leaving them lost in a wilderness that seemed to close in around them, stifling their every breath. A chill ran down Freya's spine as she peered into the shadows. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Unease settled over her, yet she couldn't quite put her finger on what felt so wrong. Lachlan, always the optimist, reassured her that they would find their way back to civilization soon. As the night wore on, the woods grew increasingly eerie. Strange sounds echoed through the air, evoking images of unseen creatures lurking just beyond their vision. Every step they took seemed to lead them deeper into the unknown, entangling them further in a web of uncertainty. Freya struggled to keep up with Lachlan's brisk pace as they pushed on into the unforgiving forest. The undergrowth became thicker, requiring more effort to push through, and the uneven terrain made her footing uncertain. She had to exert herself to match Lachlan's determined stride as sweat trickled down her forehead and her breath grew shallow. The overgrown foliage caused them to lose sight of each other, and panic gripped Freya's heart as she stumbled through the undergrowth, calling out for her friend. Fear tightened its grip around her as the realization dawned that she was alone, vulnerable in this desolate place. She pressed on, desperate to find an escape from this waking nightmare. Every rustle of leaves, every snapping twig sent terror into her soul. Her breath became shallow, her steps uncertain. Her mind played tricks on her, conjuring horrifying images that lurked just beyond her line of sight. Then, after what felt like an eternity, Freya struggled through the thick underbrush and came across a small clearing. In the dim moonlight, she discerned a figure lying motionless, partially obscured by the surrounding shadows. A knot tightened in her stomach as a foreboding sense of familiarity gripped her. With each step closer, her dread intensified until she stood mere inches away from the lifeless form. As her eyes adjusted to the gloom, her heart sank with chilling recognition. It was Lachlan, her dear friend, lying there, his features frozen in an expression of eternal anguish. Freya's trembling hand reached out to touch his cold, lifeless skin, and a scream escaped her lips, echoing through the desolate forest, carrying the weight of her immeasurable loss. Driven by an indomitable will to survive, Freya gathered her courage and pushed herself onward. Her instincts screamed at her to escape, to flee from this place of impending doom. Yet the forest seemed to conspire against her, its twisted paths leading her in circles, denying her the way out. As hope waned and darkness threatened to consume her, Freya found herself face to face with an unknown silhouette. Her eyes caught the glint of a blade, its malevolence mirroring the cold, dead eyes of the presence before her. Time seemed to stand still as she stared into the abyss of unknown intent. Summoning every ounce of strength she had left, Freya turned and sprinted through the forest. The shadow pursued, its footsteps echoing in her ears, driving her forward with sheer terror. She stumbled and fell, gasping for breath, her heart pounding against her chest like a relentless drum. Miraculously, Freya's survival instincts kicked in, driving her to push her body beyond its limits. She darted between the thick trunks of ancient trees, her mind bracing for the inevitable. The killer's heavy footsteps echoed behind her, growing stronger with each passing moment. Fueled by pure desperation, Freya chanced upon a treacherous ravine, its depths shrouded in darkness. Without hesitation, she leapt across the gaping chasm, her fingertips barely grazing the opposite edge as she swung herself to safety. Her pursuer, caught off guard, skidded to a stop, unwilling to follow her daring leap. As Freya reached the crest of the hill, she spotted a cascading waterfall in the distance. The sound of rushing water grew louder, beckoning her toward it. With a renewed surge of hope, she descended toward the falls, her footsteps guided by the melodic rhythm that drowned out the echoes of fear. The powerful torrent concealed her presence, its crashing waves muffling any sound that might betray her location. Freya waded into the frigid waters, following the course of the stream as it wound its way through the forest. She pushed against the current, using the river as a shield against the relentless pursuit that haunted her. Hours turned into eternity as Freya continued her watery escape. The night seemed to stretch on endlessly, the moonlight dancing upon the rippling surface of the stream. But gradually, as dawn approached, she felt a glimmer of safety. a flicker of hope that she had eluded her would-be captor. As the first rays of sunlight pierced through the canopy, Freya emerged from the water, her clothes clinging to her exhausted frame. She found herself in a different part of the forest, far from the clutches of the killer. The knowledge that she had lost him filled her with a mixture of relief and trepidation, for the shadow of the unsolved ending still loomed over her. Freya stumbled upon a small road that led to a nearby town, her body bruised and battered, her spirit scarred by the horrors she had endured. She was embraced by concerned strangers who offered comfort and aid, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness that had pursued her remained unresolved. She couldn't escape the haunting regret that gnawed at her soul, the regret of leaving her dear friend Lachlan behind in the treacherous depths of the forest. The weight of her survival, intertwined with the burden of his loss, pressed upon her, amplifying the chilling reality that the evil still loomed. But the nightmare wasn't over. The identity of the pursuer remained unknown, leaving a lingering panic that gripped the hearts of all who heard the tale. The unexplained violence haunted the town, casting a pall over their lives, a constant reminder that evil could strike again at any moment. And so, the story remains suspended in the realms of uncertainty, a testament to the enduring power of fear and the eternal question of whether true justice can ever be served.